Good evening. Thank you for joining us for the Fort Worth ISD Council of PTAs Candidate Forum for District 6. Running unopposed for this seat is Ann.
Joining us, Ann. Moderator for the evening is a star student from OD Wyatt High School in Fort Worth ISD, junior Javia Lane. She recently traveled with PTA to Austin with many other Fort Worth ISD students and is excited about engaging more in advocacy. My name is Tiffany Rogers, and I serve as the Vice President of the Fort Worth ISD Council of PTAs. The mission of PTA is to make every child's potential a reality by engaging and empowering families and communities to advocate for all children. Part of how we advocate for all children is by helping you be an informed voter. This forum will be recorded and available for viewing between now and voting day on our website, www.fwisd.org, in English and in Spanish. We are also streaming on Facebook Live, and we are thankful that our candidate has joined us tonight to help us get to know her better and the issues answers to the issues that we face in public education. PTA is nonpartisan. We support or oppose issues, not candidates. Not having my script better written. We will have 30 minutes this evening with Ms. Darr, and we'll start off by doing an introduction, and after that, Javia will start in with questions, and we'll see all the things that we get to know about you. Thanks for being here again.
Thank you, Tiffany. Can you hear me okay?
And we can't hear you.
Okay, that was what I was worried about.
Here you are. I can hear you now. Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you for sound check. Good afternoon or good evening. My name is Ann Darr, and I am the trustee for the Fort Worth ISD serving District 6. I represent District 6. I serve all of the students in Fort Worth ISD. I am a wife. I am the mother of 3 remarkable kids. I have 2 of my children are Fort Worth ISD graduates, and I have one who is a junior in a Fort Worth ISD high school right now. My professional background is that I'm a very proud educator. I have a bachelor's degree in deaf education. I have a master's degree in educational administration, and I am certified by the state of Texas in deaf education, in elementary education, and I have my principal certification as well. I'm a taxpayer, just like many of the people who are on this call and who are listening and watching. It has been an absolute honor to serve for the past 4 years the constituents of District 6, but then also all of the families and the students in Fort Worth ISD. I am passionate about children and youth. I am passionate and committed to public education, both personally and professionally. And I firmly believe, and I say this with 110% of my being, I firmly believe that investing in the students of today builds a stronger community tomorrow. So I look forward to addressing some of the issues that you have deemed appropriate and important for today.
Hello, I'm going to begin with the questions now. Question 1 is, how do you see Fort Worth ISD responding to the competition of charter schools and private schools?
Freida, I am glad you asked that question because I think this is a critically important issue, situation, question to answer. First of all, the opportunities in public school far exceed the opportunities that can be found in most charter schools. For example, fine arts, orchestra, band, choir, athletics. Most charter schools do not have athletic programs, or if they do, they are very minimal and they are very small. Advanced placement in college level coursework. Just the course options, the variety of course options. When you're in a larger school environment and in a larger school district, there are more opportunities for you to take courses that you might be interested in or that vary from the normal courses that everybody has to take. Programs of choice are critically important, whether you're interested in aerospace engineering or welding or media or cosmetology or health and human services or whatever it is that you're interested in. there's a program of choice that may fit your needs and be of interest to you, but then also JROTC and AVID. I would also like to add that in Fort Worth ISD, we have wraparound services that are available that charter schools are unable to offer, and that is including counseling for students and families, none of which is provided without the parents' permission, but those services are available. But then also connecting families and students to basic human needs, such as food, shelter, clothing, the things that we truly need that we know not every student in Fort Worth ISD has access to and needs assistance in that area. A biggie is that public schools, Fort Worth ISD, you have to be a certified teacher to teach in a classroom. In a charter school, you do not have to be a certified teacher. There are some certified teachers teaching in charter schools, but that is not required. It is required in the public schools. And then also services, my passion is special education. And services for students with disabilities and special learning needs are far superior in the public schools than they generally are in the charter schools. That is really important. And I think it's very important as a district that we are communicating effectively. One of the things and one of the reasons that I supported Dr. Ramsey being our next superintendent is her ability to communicate. And already since she's been here, the communication in the district has expanded and improved exponentially. And communicating the opportunities in the public school is critically important in order to ensure that people know what their choices are. They need to be able to make informed decisions.
Thank you. Moving to question 3. As a school board member, how would you respond to the efforts of special interest groups who advocate the censorship of existing curriculum while working with your fellow board members to create a cohesive vision for the district?
So first of all, I believe that censorship is un-American. It is unconstitutional and it is inappropriate. Now, it's also inappropriate to have reading materials that aren't age appropriate or that include questionable material. And that is why we have very well-trained librarians who go through a rigorous process of screening materials before they are included in libraries, in classrooms. The curriculum specialists do the same thing. Students must be the focus. We are getting sidetracked. And when I say we, I use that term loosely. The general public, not Fort Worth ISD, not the Fort Worth ISD School Board, is getting sidetracked by adult agendas, and we are losing our focus on students, and the students have got to remain the focus. That instead of paying attention to the distractors that are trying to get us to focus on other things other than students. Special interest groups do not determine what students should learn. The State Board of Education does. And they do so by writing and approving the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills. That is the way our system is designed. As far as a cohesive vision with the board, I think listening is extremely important, but I think also responding respectfully and appropriately is important too. And that is something that the current board does very well. We do not always agree, nor should we. We represent very, very different parts of Fort Worth and Fort Worth ISD. But when we do not agree, we are able to do so respectfully by speaking respectfully, by treating each other with respect, by not calling each other out in public platforms. And that's critically important for any kind of cohesion on a board.
Thank you. Next question is, the STAR test is a state requirement that tends to drive instruction and results in other problematic impacts on teachers and students. How should the district allocate resources to manage these impacts while ensuring student success?
That is an excellent question. Thank you. I have said this from the dais. I have said this in public forums. I am a huge advocate of pre-K. Pre-kindergarten instruction is critically important. We know, and we have known for years, for probably 50 years now, that students, the language that students learn and children learn, the bulk of that language is learned before they are 5 years old, before they even reach kindergarten. We are not going to see the gains in reading in 3rd grade if we're not addressing the needs of our youngest students. And so I am a huge believer in pre-K. I am not supporting mandatory pre-K, but I do support the availability of pre-K, the quality pre-K with good curriculum, good instruction, with certified teachers that a public school that Fort Worth ISD can provide. I think that's a huge area where we can use our resources to ensure that students are meeting their maximum potential later on in life. I've always said that the most important teacher that any child has is their parent, period, the end. Or their caregiver, or the person that is the most present in their life from birth all the way until graduation, and then even after that. But one of the most important teachers a child will ever have is the pre-K kindergarten teacher, because they are setting the foundation. And if students aren't getting a firm foundation when they're in pre-K, they're not going to be able to do physics when they're in high school, or as easily. Okay, so that pre-K is really important. The other thing is high-level Tier 1 instruction must be provided to every student, which includes good curriculum, professional development for teachers, competitive salaries and benefits so that we can recruit the best and the brightest teachers. And that recruitment piece is key. One of the things that we're doing now that we weren't doing when I started serving on this board is we are being Fort Worth ISD is far more proactive in recruiting teachers, and doing so earlier instead of waiting until the later months when many of the good teachers had already committed to other school districts. So I applaud the district for that effort, and I applaud the board for getting behind the effort and supporting that effort to make sure that it's happening. And then also explicit instruction. Students need explicit instruction plus academic opportunity plus engagement, and that is the formula for success.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The next question I have for you is, what is your position regarding self-esteem, self-worth, and social emotional health educational programs? So
education, this is what I'm actually very passionate about, because as I mentioned earlier, I am a huge, my passion is special education. And special education is recognizing the value, the uniqueness, and the gifts and skills of every student, not just students who are academically achieving. And that's every student, regardless of disability, regardless of their learning style, regardless of perhaps their special learning needs. In education, the students are the greatest variable. We don't know. Every kid in that class has come into school with a different story, a different history, a different outlook on life, a different family situation, and addressing their self-esteem. We know that higher achievers have higher self-esteem. We know that higher achievers have a great sense of self-worth. That's critically important. And we also know that high achievers and those who are academically successful are socially and emotionally healthy. Relationships is key. Building those relationships with the student as a teacher, as an administrator, as the bus driver, as the cafeteria worker, as the custodian, as the assistant principal, as the office staff. Building those relationships is critical. Again, the focus has got to be on the student. It is proven that students, like I said earlier, with high self-esteem, high self-worth, and who have been taught social and emotional regulation strategies that foster resilience, perseverance, social skills, collaboration, self-control, adaptability, teamwork, and most importantly, empathy. Those are the students that experience the greatest amount of academic success. And it is impossible to teach reading, math, and writing without teaching the whole child.
Thank you. Next question. How would you help schools to enhance parent engagement and create a supportive and collaborative school environment that would benefit the academic achievement and well-being of students?
Parent involvement is so important. And like I said earlier, the most important teacher that any child, any teenager will ever have is going to be their parent or their grandparent or their caregiver. whoever is providing is spending the most time with that child in their life. And so incorporating parents is critically important. And it certainly is something that every campus, it's my expectation as a trustee, that every campus is welcoming to parents. Studies indicate that there's a direct correlation between student achievement and parent involvement on a campus. It is very clear to see in STAR scores, in NWEA MAP scores, in the satisfaction of parents and students on a campus. That is undeniable. It's important to empower those parents and caregivers. That one of the ways is PTA. This forum is through PTA. Active PTAs on campus make a huge difference in the lives of students. All Pro Dads has been a great addition to many of the campuses. I love seeing the pictures on Facebook of rooms that are full of dads and students learning, interacting, collaborating, having a fun snack, whether it's donuts or cereal or cookies after school. That's a great way to get those dads on campus, and really important for those kids. Parent partnerships is just that. It's partnerships. And that is a department in Fort Worth ISD that is doing fantastic work to ensure that parents feel like they are a part of the process, and other groups as well. Open houses are critically important. There has been a slew of open houses where every pyramid has opened up their school to parents, to neighborhoods, to community members, to anybody that wanted to come and tour the school and learn more about the programs that are on that campus. There have been math nights, literacy nights. There was a health event in the Pascal Pyramid just this past week. I don't remember the exact name of it, but everybody came and they exercised and they talked about learning, eating healthy and sleeping right, and all the things that help to make us be the best that we can be. And really any event celebrating students. Nothing brings me more joy than celebrating students. And whether it's a choir concert or a band concert or an athletic event or a debate tournament or a one-act play or the school musical or whatever it is, a Hispanic Heritage Night. One of the schools in District 6 had a Hispanic Heritage Night to celebrate the students. There was the mariachi performers. There were people that were fixing food. There were games for kids to play. Any event celebrating students, I think, is a great way to get parents involved and on campus. It's really important to have strong, responsive, creative, and out-of-the-box administrators, out-of-the-box thinkers. Building relationships with parents. Parents need to know that they matter. Finding out about who parents are and learning a little bit more about them in order to capitalize on their strengths and their talents in order to help them to feel that what they have to offer is something the school needs and will help students.
Thank you. And our final question for tonight is, what is the biggest challenge facing Fort Worth ISD? How would you solve this challenge? And how would you engage and get buy-in from the Fort Worth ISD stakeholders?
Whew. You saved the best for last, didn't you? So I think that a real significant issue that's facing every school in the United States, in the state of Texas, in Fort Worth ISD, is safety and security. And that is something that we just about every board meeting are dealing with as far as what the plan might be and or allocating funds in order to ensure that safety and security is a priority. Kids cannot learn unless they feel safe and secure. We are living at a time right now, another challenge is that we're living in a time when public education is constantly scrutinized and criticized. And I don't know about you, but I have never, ever performed better because somebody criticized and scrutinized me. I always perform better when I know that somebody's on my side and when I am being lifted up in constructive ways, not in destructive ways. Children are the most precious gift in our world. They are the most precious gifts that we have as a country, as a state, as a community. And they are being reduced to numbers and one-dimensional data points, and that's not who they are. I am not opposed to STAR testing. I am opposed to it being the only way that too many people are evaluating our schools, because our children are far more than numbers and they are not two-dimensionals. Teachers are overworked, underpaid, but most importantly, they experience an elevated level of disrespect, and they don't deserve that. They are human beings with families, with homes, with children, with lives, and they should be treated as respectfully. There's no reason to not do that. Hate speech, criticisms, and libel are prolific on social media, and that is unacceptable. Texas needs an accountability system that prioritizes student academics, but that looks beyond high stakes testing based on one test administration on one day in a child's life. I am sure glad that my ability to be a parent is not evaluated based on one 2-hour period in an entire year. I am sure our legislators are glad that their effectiveness as a legislator is not evaluated based on one 2-hour period in the entire year. And educating children, in my opinion, is the most important responsibility of any society. Establishing effective, multifaceted, comprehensive, holistic ways to measure success is imperative to accurately measuring the effectiveness of schools and to recruiting and retaining quality educators. They are the key players in student outcomes, those teachers in the classroom. They are impacting student lives every single day, and they are key to making this work so that every student has the opportunity to receive a high quality education. I think that was more than one.
Thank you.
Sorry, kind of unloaded there.
Closing statement.
Okay, thank you. First of all, thank you for this opportunity. I appreciate the role that the Fort Worth ISD Council of PTAs plays in ensuring good outcomes for students and families. So thank you very much. Serving on the school board is not about me. It is about kids. It's about students. It's about teenagers. It is about families. It is about the community. It is not about me. I will continue as the trustee representing District 6 to focus on students, not adult political agendas that create noise and distractions. 4 years ago, I led with the question, and this was my campaign shtick, if you might have it that way. And I led with the question, what if we care about the education of our neighbors' children as much as we care about the education of our own children? And when I say neighbors' children, I don't just mean the house to the north and the south of me. I mean the children in East Fort Worth, North Fort Worth, South Fort Worth, West Fort Worth, and Central Fort Worth. All of them are our neighbors. And what if we cared about their education as much as we cared about the education, as much as I care about the education of my own children? It has been an absolute honor to serve for the past 4 years, and I am looking forward to continuing to serve for the next 4 years. And again, thank you so much for this opportunity. I appreciate your time and your effort in making it happen, and all the good that Fort Worth Council of PTAs does for students and teachers and families. So thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate your time this evening very much. Wonderful to hear that you're still willing and excited about serving. I do want to give a few reminders before we hop off. Just as a reminder, this forum is recorded and available for viewing on our website between now and voting day. And that website is www.fwisdpta.org. We will have it in English and Spanish, and please feel free to share with others so that they can get to know our candidates as well. We will be publishing those steps on how to enable the Spanish captions soon, so check our website for that as well. And unfortunately, our in-person reception has been canceled, so we do apologize for that inconvenience. We hope that you can watch these recordings again from the different races and gather what you need to be an informed voter. Early voting is April 24th through Tuesday, May 2nd of 2023, and voting day is May 6th. And thank you for your support of PTA. The last 4 years, you've always been so kind to work with us, and we appreciate that. Thank you again, Ms. Darr, to our moderator, Javia Lane, and to you, our viewers. Enjoy your evening. Thank you.
You're welcome, and thank you so much. And thank you, Javia. You did a great job.
Thank you.